Litecoin, third oldest cryptocurrency in history. How was it created, how it works, and how relevant it is in modern world of crypto are all the questions we aim to answer by the end of this video. And if you don't know anything about cryptocurrencies, don't stress, because Bitcoin Academy is #1 rising platform for crypto education, and all our videos are 100% beginner friendly. Now, if you're ready, we can dive in and answer first question, which is what is Litecoin and why should you care? Litecoin is one of the oldest cryptocurrencies in the world, often called the silver to Bitcoin's gold, and understanding it gives you a clear picture of how digital money works beyond just hype. Many people assume Litecoin is just a copy of Bitcoin, but that's not true. It's actually one of the earliest successful improvements ever made to Bitcoin's original design. It was created to make digital payments faster, cheaper, and more practical for everyday use. So if Bitcoin was designed to store value like gold, Litecoin was designed to spend that value like cash. The name itself tells you a lot. Light stands for lightweight, meaning transactions move quicker and require less computing power to confirm. Just like Bitcoin, Litecoin runs on a blockchain, which is basically a public digital ledger where every transaction is permanently recorded. But Litecoin's version processes data 4 times faster, making it much better for smaller, frequent payments. What's interesting is that Litecoin has stood the test of time. It's been running non-stop since 2011 without major downtime or hacks, something very few crypto projects can claim. This long track record is why it's still among the top cryptocurrencies today. While thousands of newer coins appeared promising and disappeared later, Litecoin remained one of the most stable and secure systems in existence. It's trusted by exchanges, supported by most wallets, and accepted by many payment platforms. So when someone asks why you should care, the answer is simple. Litecoin represents reliability, speed, and a working version of what digital money was always meant to be, a global payment system that anyone can use instantly without needing permission from banks or governments. All right, now you know something, but let's extend that knowledge by diving in history, back to very beginning when it was created. Litecoin was created in October 2011 by Charlie Lee, a former Google engineer who saw both the potential and the limitations of Bitcoin. At that time, Bitcoin had already proven that decentralized digital money could work, but it was slow and not practical for everyday transactions like buying coffee or sending small payments. Charlie Lee believed he could fix that by building a version of Bitcoin that was lighter, faster, and easier for regular people to use. His idea was simple: to create what he called the silver to Bitcoin's gold. In the same way gold is valuable but slow to trade, silver has always been the faster, more accessible alternative, and Litecoin followed that same logic in the digital world. Lee designed Litecoin using Bitcoin's open source code, meaning he didn't reinvent the wheel, but adjusted the parts that could make it more efficient. He reduced the block time, which is the time needed to confirm transactions, from 10 minutes on Bitcoin to just 2.5 minutes on Litecoin, making payments nearly 4 times faster. He also increased the maximum coin supply from 21 million to 84 million to make it more available to users worldwide. When Litecoin launched, it quickly gained attention in the crypto community because it wasn't a random experiment or a meme coin. It was built by a respected developer with a clear purpose. Charlie Lee even described Litecoin as a complement to Bitcoin, not a competitor, calling it the perfect testing ground for future innovations that could later be applied to Bitcoin itself. Over time, this vision proved correct, as Litecoin became one of the most reliable and widely supported cryptocurrencies ever made, setting a foundation for many other digital payment systems that came after it. Okay, moving on to core things. Let's answer what problem was Litecoin designed to solve to begin with. When Bitcoin was first introduced, it was revolutionary, but as more people started using it, a major issue became clear. It was slow and expensive to use for small, everyday payments. Each transaction on Bitcoin's network could take up to 10 minutes to confirm, and during busy times, fees could rise to several dollars, making it impractical for simple things like buying lunch or sending small amounts of money. This is the problem Litecoin was designed to fix. Charlie Lee realized that for digital money to become truly usable by everyone, it had to process transactions quickly and cheaply without sacrificing security. Litecoin tackled this by making blocks of transactions 4 times faster than Bitcoin, confirming payments roughly every 2.5 minutes. That means someone can send or receive funds almost instantly instead of waiting long periods. It also reduced transaction fees to just a fraction of a cent, making it ideal for micropayments or frequent transfers between people. Another challenge Litecoin aimed to solve was accessibility. As Bitcoin mining became dominated by large companies with expensive hardware, ordinary people found it nearly impossible to participate. Litecoin introduced a new algorithm called Script, which made mining more accessible and less dependent on specialized machines, allowing smaller miners and hobbyists to take part in securing the network. In short, Litecoin was created to be the fast lane of digital money, keeping all the strengths of Bitcoin while removing the obstacles that made it less practical for daily use. It brought cryptocurrency closer to its original goal, a global payment system that is open to everyone, works instantly, and doesn't charge you just to move your own money. We know the basics now. Let's dive even deeper and see how this cryptocurrency actually works. Litecoin works on a system called blockchain, which is basically a shared digital ledger that records every transaction ever made. And once something is written there, it can't be changed or deleted. This makes it transparent, secure, and completely trustless, meaning you don't need a bank or third party to verify anything because the system verifies itself. When someone sends Litecoin, that transaction is broadcast to a network of thousands of computers around the world called nodes. These nodes check that the sender actually owns the coins and hasn't tried to spend them twice, a process known as double spending prevention. Once verified, the transaction is grouped together with others into a block, and miners compete to solve a complex mathematical problem that adds that block to the chain. This process is called mining, and it's what keeps the network running and secure. In return, miners are rewarded with newly created Litecoin and the small transaction fees paid by users. What makes Litecoin special is how it optimizes this process. While Bitcoin takes about 10 minutes to create each new block, Litecoin does it in only 2.5 minutes, which means transactions are confirmed much faster. It also uses a mining algorithm called Script, which is less energy intensive and was designed to make mining more fair by allowing ordinary computers to participate rather than just large industrial mining operations. Every transaction on Litecoin is recorded permanently on the blockchain and can be viewed by anyone, ensuring full transparency. The entire system runs automatically without any central authority or company controlling it. That's why Litecoin is called decentralized, meaning the power belongs to everyone using the network, not to banks or governments. In simple terms, Litecoin works like a global self-operating payment network that never sleeps, processes transactions in minutes, and exists entirely online, protected by advanced mathematics and collective trust. All right, we mentioned Bitcoin a lot by now, and I believe it's time to dive inside direct comparison between these two. Litecoin and Bitcoin may look similar at first glance, but under the surface, they have some key differences that make them serve slightly different purposes. Both run on blockchain technology and use a system called proof of work to verify transactions. But Litecoin was built to be faster, lighter, and more accessible. The first major difference is block time, which means how long it takes for each new block of transactions to be added to the network. Bitcoin takes around 10 minutes to confirm a block, while Litecoin does it in just 2.5 minutes. That makes Litecoin about 4 times faster, which is why payments confirm much more quickly. The second difference is total supply. Bitcoin will only ever have 21 million coins in existence, while Litecoin has 84 million, exactly 4 times more. This higher supply makes each coin cheaper in value and easier to divide, which is better for smaller, everyday transactions. The third difference lies in the mining algorithm. Bitcoin uses an algorithm called SHA-256, while Litecoin uses one called Script. The Script algorithm was intentionally made to be simpler and more memory-based, so regular computers could mine Litecoin in the early days without needing expensive, specialized hardware. Over time, this made Litecoin more accessible to average people, at least compared to Bitcoin's industrial-scale mining farms. However, these advantages come with a small trade-off. Because Litecoin produces blocks faster, its network can be slightly easier to attack compared to Bitcoin's slower but more heavily secured design. In essence, Bitcoin is the digital gold that stores value over time, while Litecoin acts as digital silver, focusing on speed and practicality. Both share the same DNA, but they fill different roles, with Bitcoin aiming to preserve wealth and Litecoin aiming to move it quickly and efficiently. Let's pause for a second because I need to congratulate you for making it past half of today's video. Now the juicy part begins, and if you pull through the end, you are on a good way to become cryptocurrency expert. All right, next topic will explain how mining process works and what it is in first place. Mining is the process that keeps the Litecoin network alive, secure, and constantly updated, and it's one of the most important parts of how the system functions. To understand it simply, imagine thousands of computers around the world competing to solve mathematical puzzles. These puzzles aren't random games. They are used to verify transactions and add new blocks to the blockchain. When a miner successfully solves one, that block is permanently added to the chain, and the miner is rewarded with newly created Litecoin, plus the transaction fees from users inside that block. This reward system is what motivates people to dedicate computing power to the network. Litecoin uses a system called proof of work, just like Bitcoin, but it relies on a different algorithm called script. The reason behind this choice is important. Bitcoin's algorithm, SHA-256, became dominated by massive industrial mining operations using highly specialized machines called ASICs. This made it nearly impossible for regular people to mine profitably. Litecoin's creator Charlie Lee wanted to make mining more inclusive, so he chose Script, which is less demanding on hardware and more energy efficient, allowing smaller miners to participate using regular computers or GPUs. Over time, even Script mining became more competitive, but it still remains more accessible and less power-hungry compared to Bitcoin mining. Each time a block is added, the system automatically adjusts the difficulty of puzzles to keep the average time between blocks at 2.5 minutes, regardless of how many miners are online. This automatic balance keeps Litecoin stable and predictable. Mining isn't just about earning coins. It's the backbone of trust in the system. It ensures that no one can fake transactions, double spend coins, or rewrite history. Without miners, there would be no security, no confirmations, and no Litecoin network at all. And now we are diving inside real juice, and first juicy topic is halving events. So without wasting time, let's begin explaining them. One of the most interesting features of Litecoin is its halving events, and understanding them helps explain why this cryptocurrency keeps its value over time. A halving is a programmed event that happens roughly every 4 years, or after every 840,000 blocks, where the reward that miners receive for creating new blocks is cut in half. This system was directly inspired by Bitcoin and is built into Litecoin's code to control the rate at which new coins enter circulation. When Litecoin first launched in 2011, miners earned 50 coins for each block they mined. After the first halving in 2015, that reward dropped to 25, then to 12.5 in 2019, and the most recent halving in August 2023 reduced it again to 6.25 coins per block. This process will continue until all 84 million Litecoins have been mined, which is expected to happen around the year 2142. The reason halvings are important is because they create scarcity. As fewer new coins are produced, the supply growth slows down, while demand often remains the same or increases. This limited supply, combined with steady demand, can make the asset more valuable over time. Halvings also play a key role in Litecoin's monetary policy, ensuring it cannot be inflated like traditional currencies that governments can print endlessly. However, halving events also affect miners since their rewards instantly drop in half, which can temporarily reduce profitability unless the market price adjusts upward. Historically, halvings have been followed by periods of increased attention and sometimes higher prices as investors anticipate the reduced supply. So while halving might sound like a technical detail, it is actually one of the mechanisms that makes Litecoin both scarce and sustainable, ensuring it remains a deflationary form of digital money that becomes harder to produce as time goes on. And all of this sounds great, but what is the actual real-world usage of Litecoin? Well, let's see. Litecoin might not dominate headlines like Bitcoin or Ethereum, but it has quietly built one of the strongest real-world use cases in the entire crypto industry. Its speed, low fees, and long history of reliability have made it a trusted option for everyday payments, remittances, and even testing new blockchain technologies. For example, Litecoin was one of the first major cryptocurrencies to implement segregated witness, or SegWit, a protocol upgrade that improves efficiency and lowers transaction size. This upgrade was later adopted by Bitcoin itself, proving that Litecoin often acts as a testing ground for innovations that benefit the entire crypto ecosystem. Another major milestone was the integration of the Lightning Network, a layer built to allow near-instant payments with almost zero fees. This makes Litecoin one of the few cryptocurrencies capable of handling microtransactions efficiently, such as paying for online content or digital services instantly. In the real world, Litecoin has gained significant adoption across businesses and payment processors. It's supported by major exchanges, available in most crypto wallets, and even integrated into platforms like PayPal, which allows users to buy, sell, and spend Litecoin directly. You can use it to pay for goods, services, and even send money globally in seconds without relying on banks or credit systems. In developing regions where financial access is limited, Litecoin offers an easy and affordable way for people to participate in the digital economy. It's also a popular option for peer-to-peer transfers because of its consistency and long-standing reputation for stability. Over the years, Litecoin has proven that while it may not always be the flashiest coin in the market, it's one of the most dependable. Its continued use in real-world payments shows that it fulfills what many cryptocurrencies promise but fail to deliver: fast, cheap, and reliable digital money that actually works. We are almost at the finish line, but before we cross it, we must discuss risks and limitations, because as everything in the world, Litecoin also has them. Even though Litecoin has stood the test of time, it's important to understand that no cryptocurrency is perfect, and Litecoin comes with its own risks and limitations. One of the main challenges it faces is reduced developer activity compared to larger networks like Bitcoin or Ethereum. This means fewer new features and slower updates, which can make Litecoin seem less innovative in a world where new projects are constantly launching with advanced capabilities. Another limitation is that Litecoin doesn't support complex smart contracts like Ethereum does. Smart contracts are programmable agreements that can run automatically on the blockchain, powering entire ecosystems of decentralized apps or dApps. Because Litecoin focuses mainly on payments, it lacks the flexibility to compete in areas like decentralized finance or blockchain gaming, where most innovation is happening today. There's also the issue of market attention. While Litecoin has been around for more than a decade, newer blockchains often attract more media coverage and investor interest due to fresh technology or hype-driven communities, which sometimes causes Litecoin to be overlooked. From a security standpoint, Litecoin is strong, but since it has a smaller mining network than Bitcoin, it's theoretically more vulnerable to certain types of attacks, though in practice, this risk remains very low. Additionally, Litecoin's price can still be volatile like any cryptocurrency, meaning it can experience large swings in value that might discourage new users or businesses from relying on it for payments. Finally, regulatory uncertainty remains a global concern for all crypto projects, and Litecoin is no exception. Despite these challenges, many view Litecoin's simplicity and conservative design as both its weakness and its strength. It might not push the boundaries of blockchain innovation, but it continues to do what it was built for better than most, providing fast, low-cost, and reliable digital payments without unnecessary complexity. And now, our final topic for today is present time and future perspective. As we move deeper into 2025, many people are asking whether Litecoin still matters in a world full of newer and more advanced blockchains. And the answer depends on how you define value. If you look at popularity alone, it's true that Litecoin isn't the trendiest project anymore. It doesn't have flashy marketing or billion-dollar ecosystems like Ethereum or Solana, and it isn't trying to reinvent how the internet works. But what keeps Litecoin relevant is its reliability. In over 13 years of existence, it has never stopped running, never been hacked, and never broken its promise of fast, low-cost, borderless payments. In an industry full of constant experiments and short-lived hype, that kind of stability is rare. Litecoin's simplicity is also its advantage because it focuses on doing one thing well, being a functional form of money for the digital age. It remains widely supported across exchanges, wallets, and payment platforms, meaning it's one of the easiest cryptocurrencies to use and move around the world. Even big payment networks like PayPal and MoneyGram include Litecoin alongside Bitcoin and Ethereum, which shows that institutions still see it as trustworthy digital cash. Technically, Litecoin continues to evolve at its own pace. Developers are exploring upgrades for scalability, privacy, and Lightning Network integration, which will keep it competitive in the years ahead. Its recent halving event in 2023 has also made new coins scarcer, reinforcing its long-term deflationary model. Of course, Litecoin may never lead innovation again, but it doesn't have to. Its role has always been to complement Bitcoin, offering speed, affordability, and proven reliability. In 2025, Litecoin remains exactly what it was meant to be: a stable, efficient, and trusted digital currency that quietly powers global payments while others chase the spotlight. And just like that, we've reached the end of today's video. Now you understand how Litecoin was created, how it works, and why it remains one of the most reliable digital currencies even after more than a decade. You got real insight into what makes Litecoin valuable and how it continues to shape the world of crypto payments. If you found value in this video, make sure to check one of the 2 videos that just popped up on your screen. Both will expand your crypto knowledge even further. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and leave a comment about which crypto you want explained next. See you in the next one. And until then, take care and stay curious.